Well, today I'm using my headphones. Hopefully, the voice will be more clear. Because I don't know. Usually, when I like play back my videos, they just sound way too low. So I guess we're doing headphones today. We'll see how that goes. Anyways, today we're gonna talk about how you shouldn't step on people, take advantage of people, or steal from people. Sorry. How you shouldn't take advantage of people and step on people just to get ahead in life. Now, society will brainwash you into thinking that that's how everything is, how everything should have has always been, and how you should be in order to get ahead. And you don't have to compromise your moral personal compass in order to get ahead in life. You don't have to be jealous of other people because they're more successful than you are, because success is within everybody, and the potential of change and growth and positivity is within everybody. It's just you're too focused on looking at everything else. Like, not everything is a competition, and not everything has to be compared to. Just like that person's life should not be compared to your life, because their life is different than your life. So why are you comparing your life to their life when you guys aren't the same? Everyone is different. Nobody is the same. Everybody got different paths, different purposes, and all this shit. So instead of focusing on all these people doing all these things, focus on yourself. Because if you want to get ahead in life and make something of your life, stop focusing on things that have nothing to do with you. Unless you want to stay stagnant the rest of your life and be in misery, then by all means, that's up to you. We got free will and we got choices to make. So if you want to stay in misery and all that stuff and be in a victim complex, then go ahead, but just don't complain about it. Stop talking about it. Because eventually, nobody's going to want to hear that. Because you put yourself in that situation. Nobody put yourself in that situation. And that is why you got to save yourself. Nobody can get you out of that situation. You put yourself in there, you take yourself out. That's what it is. And I know it sounds cold and it sounds hard, and the truth hurts. Like, you're not going to like the truth, but at least the truth will set you free. It'll get you to change. It'll get you to be a better person. I think that's why so many people want to avoid changing and avoid change. Because then they have to admit that they're wrong. They have to admit that everything that they were doing is not what they should be doing. And they're so stuck on their ego, because their ego is like, well, no, if we just do a different method, or just like add something, a little pizzazz, but still do our method, it'll work out. We just gotta be patient. We gotta wait. And no, it's not gonna work. I'm telling you, if you're in a place of misery and you're with toxic people and you're not happy and you feel unfulfilled, and you're always in like really shitty situations because of the choices that you make, it's not working. Start over. Start from scratch again. I'm sorry, I hate to tell you that. And I know your ego's gonna want to freaking argue with me. Listen, you don't have to argue with me. You can just argue with yourself, or whatever, because you argue with yourself every day, all day, anyways, and then you don't listen to yourself when yourself is literally telling you like, this is not a good option, this is not a good idea, and then you still do it anyways, and then you wonder why everything fucking went to shit. And I'm not saying this to be mean, and I'm actually I try not to sound aggressive about it, but I mean, the truth is what the truth is, and I'm not going to sugarcoat this, and I'm not going to hold your hand and tell you, oh, no. I'm telling you, man, because life don't hold your hand. Life will throw you in the fire, and you got to figure it out. I think the only thing that would be hard is if you're dealt with a shitty hand to begin with, and things were out of your control. That's when I could be kind of lenient, because a lot of things for me within my life, I was dealt a shitty hand, and a lot of things were not my control. but a lot of them weren't. A lot of them weren't. So a good half of it was actually me digging myself in a hole. And the other half, it was like people were just like, okay, so now you're in the hole. We're just gonna freaking try to bury you in there. And but I never held any animosity or grudges or whatever, or had any type of feelings when people did that to me. I just reframed it and looked at it like, okay, well, what is the lesson we gotta learn here? Because clearly I gotta change something. You know, it's it's um it's not good. It's like shit's not working in my favor, and I gotta figure out why. What happened to the point where like things started going like change that portion? Because probably I was doing good until that one decision, that one idea, or that one thing happened that I decided to like ignore, or whatever the case may be. Think back on that, reflect, and then change. So otherwise, you're going to be doing the same thing over and over and over again until you learn from it. And then you wonder why you're always being cheated on, or why you're always in a shitty situation, or why you're always in this and you're always in that, and it's the same over and over again. You know why? Because you haven't learned from it. Learn from this shit. Start neuroplasticity, man. Start thinking different ways of how to overcome it. Instead of reacting first and not listening, and you're using listening to respond, how about you take a second to just shut the fuck up and listen? Because you never know. The lesson is right there on how to overcome it. To watch. You know, I stopped talking so much and I started listening a lot more. Because I'm a chatterbox. I talk all the time. I talk all the time. And actually, I talk and listen at the same time. So I'm like, really like, I could do both things at once. But I stopped talking a lot and I started watching and observing and listening. Because there's lessons learned right there. You just have to pay attention. You know, the universe, God is always talking to you. It's always speaking to you. And if you have ancestors and spirit guides, if you haven't fucked up so badly, you got them, they'll give you messages. There's always signs everywhere. So if you're questioning things and trying to find out answers, why don't you sit down and watch and observe and reflect and sit with yourself. Sit with yourself. Think about what you need to do. I know it's hard because even sometimes with me, it's a little bit hard, especially with all the things going on and all that stuff. So I try to think whenever I can and if I can. And usually when I do these videos, it kind of makes me be a little bit more introspective and to like, you know, continuously reprogram my mind to the lessons that I learn and instill it in my brain so then I can live it out subconsciously. And it's ingrained in me. Because remember, like, you know, I'm not saying I'm an expert. I'm not saying I'm perfect. And I'm also not saying that, you know, I'm not learning and I'm not going on a similar level like you guys are. Like, there's probably a lot of things that you guys still need to learn, and there's other people that they're just in the beginning.